Conservation Corner on Market Journal is supported by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Nitrogen management is an important aspect of crop production. With developments in sensor technologies and fertilizer application systems over the past decade, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln is recommending that irrigated corn producers in particular adopt some of these tools. My colleague Alex Makovica recently caught up with Nebraska Extension soil specialists to discuss in-season nitrogen management practices. Here's their conversation.
Let's paint the picture. We know nitrogen is important for corn. Why?
Well, it's an integral component of the plant to make the plant grow, and then also to produce a crop that has value, either to humans or livestock or as a fuel source. So there is a significant amount of nitrogen in every grain of corn that's grown, and that has to come from somewhere. And often there's a need for some to come from fertilizer. A significant amount comes from the soil and other credits as well, but generally some in Nebraska has to come from fertilizer as well.
Okay, we're talking about in-season nitrogen application today, specifically when it comes to sensor-based management systems. What can that look like practically for producers?
Well, there's two issues there. One, the closer nitrogen fertilizer can be applied to when the crop is growing and needing it, the more efficiently it will be used and less loss to the environment. And then sensor technology is a way for growers to be able to detect ongoing need for nitrogen while the crop is growing. That's technology somewhat that was developed here at Nebraska and other land-grant universities across the central part of the U.S. 15 to 20 years ago. It's gradually becoming more available commercially, to the point that we are now really strongly encouraging farmers to consider that as a tool they might use.
What could it bring to a producer if he were to adopt that into his operation?
Well, the highest level of sensor management that we are advising right now uses satellite sensing systems. And satellite sensing systems have come along over the last 5 or 6 years to the point they really have the capacity to do what's needed. So using those kinds of systems allows the farmer to just monitor the crop during the growing season. Generally, they need a little bit of nitrogen fertilizer to start the growing season. And then once the crop canopy develops, the satellite systems can monitor the crop, inform the grower then as to whether the crop needs fertilizer in time. They can apply fertilizer without any significant impact on yield. And in doing so, protect yield, profitability, and reduce nitrate loss to groundwater.
All right, you were sharing about the NEB guide from the university. Talk more about that too, please.
Yeah. Well, for a long time now, university recommendations in Nebraska and most other land-grant universities have used very detailed research over many years to predict how much nitrogen fertilizer a crop might need. And those tools have been good tools, but they have some error because we can't really completely accurately predict weather for a field for the growing season several months ahead of time. And so this new NEB guide that we've developed encourages farmers to consider in-season management because of our inability to precisely predict weather, and instead to be able to react to weather during the growing season and manage much more efficiently that way.
You were kind of explaining there's a lot of crossover when it comes to nitrogen application, things like weather, as you're alluding to with drought, and nitrate leaching. Just overall, what is the importance of producers thinking about that this time of year?
Well, producers live in the state. They drink the same water as everybody else does. They have an interest in managing to minimize loss, both because it increases their profitability, but it also helps protect water quality, and there are human and animal health issues that can be associated with that. So growers naturally would like to do the best job they can for multiple reasons. And groundwater quality is a major issue in Nebraska. It's something that we all would like to do a better job of, and this is the way that farmers can help do that.
All right, let's round it out with this. The 2025 growing season is rapidly approaching. What are some of your best tips for nitrogen application?
Well, to consider if they have the capacity this year to moving more towards in-season management. We understand that's most easily done by irrigated producers. Dryland farmers, it's a little more challenging. But for irrigated producers to think about building in capacity into either their management approach or their systems to allow them to do that this growing season.